Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar of Tallinn University of Technology in Estonia. We're very happy to see you here, to welcome you here. Today we will talk about Tallinn University of Technology. We will talk about studying here, about study programs, about admissions, about scholarships, accommodation, generally about studying and living in Estonia. And on your side, in the chat box, you can ask questions. There will be my colleague as well helping out with answering the questions in written form. At the same time, I will read out those questions in the end of the presentation and answer those questions as well. Now I will start with the presentation, and I will not be able to see the chat box at that moment, so I will present it, and then afterwards we can move to the questions. Okay? Well, I'll try to be brief so that we have more time communicating with you and answering the questions. All right, let's do it. Now I put the presentation in full mode. I hope you see it.
Yes, we can see it. That's perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Well, we hope that you have heard, as you have already joined this presentation, you have heard about Estonia. But just once again to mention where we are located, you can see it on the map up here, who our neighbors are, where it's geographically located Estonia, and what's the capital of Estonia? It's Tallinn, and therefore the university is also called Tallinn University of Technology, or university, yeah, TalTech as we call it. Well, the country itself is a member of the EU, Schengen zone, OECD, and is using euro as a currency. So we are in the eurozone. Accordingly, all the countries around us, also in the north, will be Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, also use euro as a currency. Here's I will have a couple of pictures of Tallinn to show you how it looks like in winter and in summer. It's quite bright and colorful, and the university itself is located a bit further from the city center. However, it just takes about 20 minutes to commute from city center, Old Town, to the campus. Just a general information about Estonia and the education sector here. It's currently one of the world's best educated countries, and recently there were OECD PISA test results in Europe, and you could find out that actually Estonia ended up in the first place in all this among the club of developed countries, and as well as found quite high position in the science skills, mathematics, and so on. So about 91% of the adults currently have completed upper or secondary education, which is a quite high percentage overall. As you could already understand, the language-wise, we speak Estonian here. This is the official language, which belongs to Finno-Ugric languages. It's close to Finnish. However, people also speak other languages as their second language. So it's easy to communicate. It's easy to go around, get services in different places in also other languages if you speak them, especially English, which is the language that you will be using for your studies. And today we will be focusing particularly on English taught programs. Especially if you are interested in studying IT, you have probably heard about digital success of Estonia, and that all the digital signatures, how much time it saves for us, and there are all the state services, or most of the state services are available online, and it's very easy to also establish company online. Well, according to another survey, the country is currently in the top of by the numbers of startups per capita, and it is indeed, especially for those who are into entrepreneurship, into founding startups, or thinking, if you are thinking about founding a startup in future, this is definitely a great place to be today. And let's move to the education system. Well, we follow Bologna system, Bologna process in the higher education, and there's 3 cycles of studies and are as similar as in other European countries. Bachelor's studies last for 3 years. In some countries, you might find 4-year bachelor studies. We have it for 3 years. Master's lasts for 2 years, and PhD usually is for 4 years. However, it may last longer than that, depending on the research and general plan and the project of a PhD student. All right, now let's move towards Tallinn University of Technology. If you have questions about Estonia, you can also ask them in the chat box, and then I'll read them out later. So the university belongs to, well, top 3% of the world's best universities currently, according to the QS World Rankings, which is very important. And it was founded over 100 years ago. A couple of years ago, we celebrated the 100 years anniversary of the university. It is the University of Technology. However, we teach many other disciplines as well. But it is still the only university of engineering as such. If you want to study engineering, this is the place to be. And as well as IT, as well as applied sciences, and also we have the largest school of business and economics here, which is called School of Business and Governance as such. And on the picture here, you see the campus. On the left side, you see all the buildings where we have different types of labs for engineers and scientists. In the middle, we have student house, and on the right side, this dark building is with the dark, well, let's say the facade is the library, and then it goes through to other study buildings as well as the student residence halls. Further, you see already the accommodation, meaning the dormitories where students stay. And after that, there's a science park where lots of companies have their offices, and many our students also do their internships there in those companies. And afterwards, after graduation, often they stay studying there, working there, sorry. Currently, we have around 10,000 students in total, and 1,400 of them, or nearly 1,400, are international students. So the students that come from over 100 countries. According to the student barometer, the international student barometer, that's a survey that is conducted among the international students worldwide. In Estonia, 88% were satisfied with their experience at TalTech, and 91% were satisfied with their experience living and studying experience in Estonia, which is a very high as well across Europe. Research and development, R&D, is something that goes along with also entrepreneurship and innovation that we will talk about later. And this is a very important component in any university life, especially in the University of Technology. All these projects that you see on the screen will be smart campus, self-driving vehicles, smart road pavement, or student satellite. We have sent already 2 satellites, which this is all the result of cooperation between students, professors, private and public sector. And in the end, you have the result that actually works, the prototypes, the demo versions, and then already the final product that goes to the market. And as I already said about the science park, about 150 high-tech companies are accommodated on the campus of TalTech, and they have their offices there, and often our students, as I already mentioned, do their internships there and work afterwards. And accordingly, there are also many different types of startup competitions and projects that researchers and students are involved. There's a startup incubator, business and innovation center, where lots of different companies organize their, the idea pitching events and so on. Now let's move to the study programs, which is the most important part now regarding the admissions, and then we will talk also about the application process. About the study programs that are fully taught in English, we offer 4 programs, bachelor's programs, that last for 3 years each, 16 master programs for 2 years each, and 10 doctoral programs. And you can find more about this at taltech.ee/programs. And why do I mention it here is that every study program has its own page, and there you can read more. We pay a lot of attention on developing those pages. Therefore, I would recommend you to always keep checking the updated information there. Also, before applying, before starting your application process, before starting your application in the DreamApply system, where you need to upload all the documents, I would recommend you to again check the requirements, again check what's written on the web page of the study program. There you will find curriculum, what you will study. There you will find the information about the requirements, about programming, country-specific requirements as well, that will lead you to the application page. Now, let's discuss a little bit the bachelor's programs, and then we'll move to master's programs. So if you are looking for something on studying about, business, will it be marketing, finance, banking, and related fields, then this is covered under International Business Administration BA program. If you are starting your career, or you would like to become an engineer in future, a highly skilled engineer, it's good to start from integrated engineering Bachelor of Science program, and afterwards you can specialize either in the engineering program or IT program that you find more appealing to you. Cybersecurity program is for those who would like to do or would like to start their career in IT sector. So cybersecurity program is more IT program. And then we have a law program, which is Bachelor of Arts classical program. And there you can also specialize in international relations if that's something that interests you more into social sciences. All right. School of IT offers several master's programs. As you can see, it's again cybersecurity on master level this time. So if you studied cybersecurity on bachelor level, you can also study on master or continue studying on masters. Or if you studied IT program on bachelor's level in your country, let's say in this case, if you studied bachelor's in IT in Turkey, then you can also apply to cybersecurity MSc, Master's Science program. Communicative electronics is another one, and computer and system engineering, e-governance. These are all very popular and famous programs. And digital health, which is quite unique as well. It tells you you can learn there more about how to govern the medical systems in current modern ways, how to use the digital solutions in managing the clinical sector, and this is something that currently specialists are needed as well a lot. E-governance is the same, right? In public governance, the e-solutions are more and more demanded as such. All right, let's move to School of Engineering. Here we have even more programs, starting from industrial engineering with technologies of wood, plastics, and textiles. If you are into environmental studies, there you have your environmental engineering. Here you also need to have also bachelor in engineering, right? So every time you're applying for especially for Master of Science programs, you need to have bachelor's degree, or you are supposed to be finishing your bachelor's degree at that year in the in this field accordingly, right? So it's important also to have the knowledge in engineering if you want to apply to one of those study programs. School of Business and Governance offers now International Business Administration MA program. Now we talked about BA program earlier. Now this one is a master program. And then we have entrepreneurial management, which is MBA program. And here it's necessary to participate in the classes once in several months or in several weeks. So once in usually it's once in a month. And most of the time these are students from nearby countries that are in their that are working, and they are usually the mid-range managers, and they can, which is also a requirement to have the working experience, and they come to take classes and they go back to working. A law program, MA, and this Master of Arts program, and the last one in this school for the master's level is Technology Governance Digital Transformation, which is also very a very important field in public governance these days. And in the School of Science, we offer Applied Physics Master of Science program, which is indeed very multidisciplinary in a way. Even though it is focusing, and the name is focused on applied physics as such, you can apply it, in fact, to very many different sectors, including banking, for example. So I do recommend you to check taltech.ee/programs, go through all of those and see what suits you the best. We do offer scholarships usually. These are the tuition waiver scholarships, performance scholarships, specialty scholarships, and so on. Next year, we will have, or this year, we still are waiting for the availability for tuition fee waivers, and we will have the information next year whether these scholarships will be confirmed or not. So hopefully in upcoming months this will be clear, and we will update also the website, and this information will be communicated that will, if there are scholarships available for the next intake or not, meaning tuition fee waiver scholarships. There are also performance scholarships, which is if you perform well from the second semester, you can apply if you have good grades for €100 a month scholarship. There are some specialty scholarships in certain study programs. This you need to check one by one whether this applies to your study program. And there is also DORA scholarship, which is €350 a month. This is for certain master's programs, right? So these are some of those possibilities that you can get. You don't need to apply for these scholarships separately. When you apply to the study program, you are automatically considered for a tuition fee waiver if such scholarships will be available next year. For performance scholarship, yes, it will be already from the second semester. You need to apply. And specialty scholarship, DORA scholarships, is you need to mention it just simply during your application that you would like to receive it as well. And this information is usually updated under taltech.ee/scholarships, if you see it in the bottom. Now let's move to the admissions process. Right. As I already mentioned, the application system, it will open in January, and the application system is it is quite simple. In fact, you need to go to estonia.dreamapply.com, register your profile, and start applying, meaning uploading documents. You need to upload all the documents that will be required, that you need to fill in. Let's say also there's a motivation letter you need to write there, upload the scan of English or proof of English language certificate, scanned education documents that will be required. And with €100 application fee, you can apply for 2 study programs. However, you need to write different motivation letters, right? Motivation letters should be different for 2 programs. If you are applying, let's say, to cybersecurity and integrated engineering program, the documents can be the same, but the motivation letter should be different for these 2 programs. And then GRE test result for master's programs is required as well. Now will be also entrance test in certain programs, and this will be also mentioned on the page of the study program you are applying for. Now let's go to the application deadlines. As I mentioned, the system will open in January, and deadlines will be in spring. Now for non-EU citizens, it's March 15th. However, we have one more deadline, and you can see Turkey over there. If you're a Turkish citizen, then the deadline for you will be April 15th. And for the EU citizens, we have one more deadline in May, and then we have one more deadline for Finnish, Latvian, and Estonian neighboring countries' citizens for certain programs in School of Business and Governance, but this is not relevant right now. So yeah, April 15th for the citizens from Turkey. This is the date where we will have most of the applications also coming by, and it's important to upload everything and submit everything by 15th of April, because then the system will close, so you cannot do it on the next day. On April 16th, it will be impossible to submit your application. Well, about the partnership with other universities, this is to mention that if you become a student at TalTech, then you have an opportunity to go to other universities and do exchange studies there. So you are already abroad and you go still again for one more semester or a year, depending on the program, and bring back the credits that you earn there, the study credit points, and that will be counted in your diploma. This is the exchange studies is something that many of our students use during their studies. They use it for their personal experience, to get more study experience, to get experience of living somewhere else, yeah, this is definitely helping you to learn more about other education systems, to simply have it in your history that you also studied somewhere else, and for personal development, it's a great chance as well. Beyond the campus accommodation, you might have a question about the accommodation, where the students live. We do offer student residence halls, so sometime in June we have a date when you need to apply for study for the student dormitory if you would like to live there. However, you can also, of course, on your own rent an apartment somewhere in the nearby area of the university, or further. It's up to you how you would like to commute, and accordingly, the rent in the dormitories will be smaller, and it costs around 120 euros a month. So in the beginning, maybe it is good to be in a dormitory so that it's easier. You know, it's close to the study buildings. You can meet other students, and yeah, it's good for integration and such. And those dormitories are located on the campus, and you will receive the notification in your Dream Apply system that on which date and what time you need to apply for this, and then you need to wait for it for the answer. All these details are also at taltech.ee/practical. This is the link in the bottom of this slide, if you see it. Right, usually these rooms are fully furnished, and if you have any questions, you can also ask later. There's usually Wi-Fi, yeah, there's like 2 students in one room and 2 rooms, so 4 students usually have that kitchen area that you see on the picture, and the bathroom area as well. So that's pretty good. For student life, there is there are different types of organizations, especially if you are doing engineering. There's robotics, Formula Club. If you're into filming and photography, there's photography club, culture club, and so on. Sports center, if you would like to do sports, you can play basketball, volleyball. There's gym, and there's of course student union and international club, which is the international students organization, let's say, and different types of counseling, tours, buddy services are available as well. Right, you can already write to our international student ambassadors. These are students that can share information with you, the way they have found the first integrating, their experience in Estonia. These are international students from different countries, and they have their blog. You can read their stories. You can also visit the website and the Facebook page. Also ask questions in Facebook group. You can type it as Ask TalTech Student Ambassador. You will join the group, and then you can ask questions there or read the comments to the questions that others ask. So these are very practical. This is for practical matters mainly. If you have questions about the admissions, you need to directly contact our admissions team. But if it's about the practical matters, if you would like to ask about, some shops, some type of about the accommodation, about how does the dormitory look like, and yeah, different types of everyday daily life, then you can always contact our student ambassadors that come from different countries. Virtual tour, you can already visit us virtually. This is virtualtour.taltech.ee. Here you can find all the labs, different study rooms, browse through them virtually, and already see the premises and imagine where you would like to study, where you would be studying if you get admitted. And here is here's the address, the email address where you need to write your questions if you have questions about admissions. So once again, if there are questions about student life, everyday life, you can contact our student ambassadors. If this is about admissions, then or about your documents you want to ask about this, then you need to contact the admissions team directly. And this is at study@taltech.ee. So next one, let's say if next week you have questions, in 2 weeks or in January, this is the email to address, and you will certainly get answers. Then you can also follow us on social media. We do update our social media channels a lot. We'll be on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and yeah, we do recommend you to follow those channels as well. This is it for now. I will now stop sharing this file, but I have a short video that I could show, and then we can already move to the questions. All right, so let me try to. Okay. All right.
TalTech University's mission is to advance knowledge and technology with the power to create meaningful social, economic, and environmental change. The arrival of 5G networks opens up a new world of opportunities for technology to achieve its transformative potential. The Tallinn University of Technology Smart Campus is equipped with all the necessary infrastructure for developing emerging 5G technologies. Scientists and developers from across the private and public domain are welcome to build and test their technology at the campus. The Smart Campus is home to TalTech's autonomous vehicle program and the ISE Auto platform, exploring how intelligent transportation systems and solutions based on smart sensorics can change how we design our cities. Vehicle-to-vehicle communication enables research in sensor-driven junctions, road crossings, and smart road surfaces that improve traffic flow and safety. Companies such as Starship Technologies are developing autonomous delivery robots that are set to revolutionize local delivery and pave the way for new types of everyday services. Smart elevators leverage 5G connectivity to process biometric data, improving security and directing foot traffic in smart buildings. And in industry, new generation networks enable remote VR for operating machinery all over the globe, and autonomous mobile factories for far more resource-efficient production. The vision for the Smart Campus is to establish itself as the foremost center of excellence, both for developing 5G, IoT, and smart city technologies, as well as e-governance and cybersecurity in the emergent era. TalTech Smart Campus, leading Estonia and the world to a sustainable digital future.
All right. This was it for the presentation. Now we'll slowly start replying to the questions. I see there were there were quite already many participants here. Greetings to everyone once again who joined later. And yeah, now I can slowly move to the questions. Oh, there were already quite many.
Yes, Alexander, there are many questions and Sabina has answered some of them.
Yes. Right. Let me try to find the ones that have not been answered.
If you can click on the not answered button on the right after the
yes,
question.
Not answered, right there. Links that you have sent for programs, that's taltech.ee/programs and /scholarships. That should work. I will check it once again right now. Yes, these links do work. There was a question that those links don't work for programs and scholarships. They do work right now. This is taltech.ee/programs and /scholarships is for the other one. Or if these pages are not opening, then just go to the main page and you will find it under admissions. Simply, all this information is under admissions. There's another question. Is it possible establishing a company in Estonia with a student visa? Now, when you're here, you need to apply for a residence permit. Yeah, this is something that is also written at this information about practical information page. So all the students that arrive here, will it be for with a there are no student visas as such. So you get the visa, and then you need to apply for residence permit. So you get a card, and this card is your residence permit for study purposes. And that means that with this card and your passport, you can also travel around Schengen area, and you can also, establish a company if you wish so. So this is the ID card or the residence card that you use for identification. You have your identity's number, and you can also access different types of services with this ID card. About the recognition, well, yes, the university is recognized all over the world. Our students have, or our students from Turkey have returned back home and worked in different fields. So yes, indeed, our diplomas that TalTech has are worldwide recognized. This is the second largest university, public university, state university in the country. So therefore, it has all the recognition. Do you have representative in Turkey? We do not have representative as such in Turkey. So if you have any questions, you need to write them directly to us at study@taltech.ee, and we will reply back to you right away. There's a question about graduate teaching assistantship that you need to ask about positions. You need to directly ask the faculty in this case. So as I said, we have 4 schools: School of Business and Governance, School of Engineering, IT, and Science. You need to directly go to their pages, find the contacts, and directly ask exactly what kind of teaching you are interested in, and maybe there will be some positions that you find interesting. Is it possible transferring from a Turkish university, bachelor's degree, second year? Transfer as such is not possible, unfortunately. Transfer often, what transfer is considered is that you have, let's say, completed certain amount of courses, and then you will do the rest of the courses in the another university, right? In this case, it will be hard to do because the study program curriculums are not usually the same, so they don't fit each other so much, right? So like, even if you studied, let's say, business somewhere, and then you would like to study business here as well, the curriculums might not be the same. The program, the study courses you had, therefore they need to really match. However, you can still possibly transfer certain courses from the past, but this already you need to do when you are studying here, when you are admitted to the university. So you still need to start the study program from the beginning here and spend the nominal 3 or 2 years bachelor or master level in this case. Do you have any American faculty members? Yes, I think we have some American staff members in several schools. As I said, there are 4 schools, and there are many members of academic family as stuff, academic staff. So I can't tell you exactly the names right now. Dual degree programs with American universities. Dual degree programs, not as such. You can do, as I had mentioned about partnerships, the exchange studies in partner universities. A prep year, there's a question about the English language prep year. This opportunity was available at some point in the past. Unfortunately, we do not offer this anymore. Accordingly, we do not have English language preparation course anymore. About the visas, if you need to apply for, you need to get a visa to come to Estonia. Once you are admitted, you need to address the nearest embassy, nearest consulate of Estonia. If it's not located in your country, then you need to find the one that is located nearby to you, or to any of the consulate that you can visit, and book an appointment and apply for a visa. Do you have scholarship program for students who have studied in Estonia before? We do not have separate scholarship like this for the students who have already studied here, unfortunately. Yeah. But if you have done your degree in English language in Estonian university, then you don't need to have, another English language proof of English language requirement, for example. There was a question about the monthly, yearly dorm fees. So the dorm fees are approximately around 120 euros. Why I say approximately is that this is depending on the heating in winter. So in winter it's a little bit higher, the rent, because of the heating of the dormitories. So accordingly, a little bit, let's say in spring, it's even cheaper to the rent altogether. However, recently we have had quite warm winters, so accordingly this it should stay in frames of these fees. Okay. Just a question about Duolingo score. No, we do not accept that. Sports scholarship, yes, it was also answered that we do not have. Here, yes, there was a link for PhD. Okay, let's try to find more questions that were not answered. Further, TalTech canceled many students' applications because of COVID situation last year. We're unable to travel Estonia because of Turkey's current COVID rate right now. Do you have? Yeah. Well, the situation regarding. Okay, this is also a very valid question about COVID, which is worrying us all. How the situation will be all around us. Currently in Estonia, the situation is quite stable. There are no major there's no major lockdown or prohibitions as such. There are cases tested daily, a certain number of cases, but it's not critical as such. And we hope that this will stay this way. And for the next year, we do hope as well that it will be easier to travel between the countries. Last year, or this previous intake, indeed it was the case when the university had to cancel the admission of students from countries where they couldn't arrive. And yeah, we are monitoring the situation every day, and we'll see how it will be in spring. We do hope that this will not be the case anymore. However, those that had their applications canceled, they could defer their studies. So those who were not able to arrive this year, they can do it next year. So they don't have to apply, or they don't have to go through the admission process as such. They don't have to. They already have admission. Those who were admitted last year, they just they just need to decide if they would like to arrive next year or not. This year we were not able to receive many students because of COVID situation, indeed, in summer. All right. Let's see if I can find more unanswered questions. I was in Tallinn last year, September, with quality education. Oh, that's very good to hear. Intensive English programs, unfortunately, we don't. How is Corona? Oh, yeah, there was a question already about coronavirus pandemic situation. So this is what I just talked about, right? Currently, it's under control. It's the citizens, people follow the rules, and we do follow the distancing rules and rules with masks, and yeah, it's quite under control, I would say. All right, I do not see more questions for now, but maybe they will be coming. We still have some time. You can still ask some questions. Use this opportunity.
You look covered most questions. There's one more question on the app.
Okay, now I received it. Yeah. There's a question about quota for the study programs. We don't have quotas as such. So the way admission happens is that, let's say, there's a certain amount of students applying to the study program, and then they go through the academic first they go through the admissions evaluation, and that all the documents are in place, that you can you are available, you are eligible to study at Estonian University, and then it goes to the faculty academic evaluation, and here then the faculty or the council of the study program chooses the best candidates to start the study program. Accordingly, all those who are considered as the quality students join the study program. So we don't have this kind of quota as such for one or another study program. As it was mentioned, there was a question about PhD programs again, and this is a subject for that link that was sent earlier, but I would like to ask my colleague to send it again. This is taltech.ee/doctoral. There you'll find study programs where we accept applications. So 10 programs where you can present your research plan and, and project, and you need to find a supervisor that will work with you, the faculty that you're interested in, and then fill in the application for that study program. So you need to just go through this 10 study programs in PhD level that we have, and you'll find it all there. Could possibly write myself here. Yeah. So here, I think that was sent as well. Okay. Yes, there was a question about working during the studies. Currently, it's possible. However, if anything changes, will be depending on any type of governmental decisions or so that we will. Well, the university has no kind of authority over this. Currently, yes, all students can work, but we will see what will be next year. If that changes, this will be also announced everywhere. So I do recommend you to also follow Estonian news in English to see generally what is going on, what is the situation regarding COVID. It is indeed very important to follow this kind of news when you're deciding to study somewhere and to travel somewhere abroad and to stay there. So yeah. How many Turkish students? Yes, we have, should be 61, I believe, Turkish students studying at TalTech.
Okay. One more question on the top.
Yeah. Individual application for an agreement between two institutions for certain students' PhD studies. You need to talk to the PhD department in this case. I cannot exactly tell you whether this is possible or not. So you'll find the contacts at the link that I sent earlier, and this is where you can address your question. Is there a written document about which score English high school interview affect how many percentage? Well, you need, when you go to the page that was mentioned earlier about the application page, right? This is taltech.ee/apply. There you find what decides your, let's say, the outcome of the study, of the admission. English language as such is there for the eligibility. Proof of English language does not affect the final score of the academic evaluation. Yeah. What affects is, yes, interview, motivation letter, that you need to have a good motivation letter. Then there is also the online test there might be for one or another study program. So I would recommend you to check the webpage of each study program, and you will find it in the description under the admissions.
Looks we covered all questions for now.
Yeah, for now we have. We will.
Is it possible to share contact details in the chat box for the further questions?
Yes. Well, maybe I will. It was already shared in the very last comment. I would like to encourage everyone to have a look at a chat box and the message that was sent 3 minutes ago. And that is, if you have any questions, you can also contact us on Facebook page. And if that is admission-specific questions, you can contact us at study@taltech.ee. We'll also, we'll follow up as well, and yeah, this information will be available everywhere.
Yes. Also, Sabina has shared some informative links as well, so which is great.
Yes, this is exactly what I was referring to. So there's a link to a Facebook page in the very last message in the chat by Sabina, and as well as a link or the address of the admissions office, the email address.
So we have one last question in the questions tab on the bottom.
Yeah, let me see.
Thanks, Rui.
Yes, to university exam in Turkey, do I need a new score for applying to still count for admission? I would recommend you to address this question to our admissions team, and they will tell you whether you need anything, you need to take anything in addition. I think you might not need to do anything new, but yeah, I would still recommend you to write to study@taltech.ee. This is the address for admissions team, and you can ask them, you can tell that you have taken this test in 2013 and whether you need to take anything else or not, and they will guide you through. How many euros would student need monthly to have an average life in Estonia? Well, it largely depends, of course, on the way a student lives, meaning the standard life where you choose. As I mentioned, it costs around 120 euros to live in a dormitory. If you rent an apartment, then it might be, if you share with students, it might be sometimes similar price. If you rent it alone, just for rental of the apartment, one-room apartment, let's say, may cost from 300 to 450 euros in this area where the university is located. Then the transport inside Tallinn is free of charge for residents of Tallinn. once you are a student here in Estonia and in Tallinn, and you have residence somewhere, will be in a dormitory in any other place, then you can register yourself as resident of Tallinn and get a card and travel inside and use the public transportation for free. So you can calculate yourself accordingly. You can see how many types of expenses you might have. So I mentioned right now a couple, right? This would be accommodation and traveling inside if you use it, if you use the public transport inside Tallinn. Then there's of course food and other types of expenses. I would say for that you would need about another 300 maybe euros a month. However, indeed, as you might have heard that, and this, the education level as such compared to other Western European countries is indeed not any lower. It's often even much higher in certain fields, especially when it comes to IT fields, engineering fields. But the fees or the living costs as such compared to many Western European countries, it is much lower in Estonia. But the standard and the quality you get, it is still high. So there's another question about this. So will let's say 500 euros be enough? Well, I would say 500 euros, including the accommodation on the campus, might be enough. Of course, it depends on your activities and different types of your own expenses. If the way you spend, the way you use your monthly budget. But for food, for accommodation, this might be enough.
Looks like covered all questions.
There was a thank you, Furkan, who also recommended numbeo.com, where you can check cost of living. Okay, so he recommends to people who are asking about living in another country and prices, right? So it's just to get an idea about prices, what kind of prices there are in the country. There's a question about after graduation. Yes, after graduation you have time. You can find a job. You can stay another period of time that you can when you can find a job and stay here for working. Indeed, after graduation, many students stay. They find a job. Even during the studies, they find an internship, and then they continue sometimes studying, working in the same company where they have done internship, or they apply after graduation, and they stay working here. So this is very common indeed. Just to understand how the job market looks like, I will send you to Leila. I will send this link that is workingestonia.com, and you can see, just to imagine how the job market looks like. These are some of the jobs that you can find in English right now, or where you can work in English language. For certain jobs will be in the service fields. Let's say you might need knowledge of Estonian language. But again, it depends on the job you do. If it's often in the IT sector, the primary language is English. Okay. All right. Well, we can probably wrap it up here. I would like to thank everyone who participated in the webinar. I would like to thank the organizers, and I hope it was useful. If, again, you have more questions, you can always write to us. And Sabina, my colleague, has posted very useful links in the chat box. And yeah, you can join our social media channels. Write to us anytime. We really welcome your questions. And yeah, I do hope that one day we'll meet at the campus.
Thank you, Alexander. Thank you for your presentation and covering all questions with Sabina. So it was very beneficial. It was very informative for students. Thank you very much again for joining us. It was very nice to welcome you at the IEFT Talks.
Indeed. Unfortunately, these days we cannot be there in person. However, we do travel to Turkey often, meaning at least a couple of times in a year. Last year I went myself in, was it in February, I believe, to Turkey, and we met students in Ankara, in Istanbul, in Izmir, and we had this type of kind of open meetings, info sessions there. Unfortunately, right now we cannot travel much. Therefore, we have this wonderful opportunity to talk to you through the webinar. And yeah, we hope that in future we'll be able to visit Turkey again and meet you in person or welcome you here in Estonia.
Thank you. We hope the same. Thank you. And yeah. It was a welcome you at IEFT Talks, and hopefully we can see you. We can welcome you in Turkey soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Have a good day, everyone. Bye bye.